Stephanie Pink here, and I'm doing something a little bit different today. As you know, I absolutely love horror and Final Destination. Some of my favourite films. Final Destination 3 is actually my top 4 on Letterboxd because I absolutely love it. So I thought today I would try to rank the Final Destination deaths. I won't, however, be ranking them in order of best to worst death. I'm going to be ranking them in order of how likely I would be to survive them. Obviously, this is just a little bit of fun. It's not that deep. It's more of just a fun video. Don't fucking type it out in the comments like, actually, you would not survive that. It's just a bit of fun. And yeah, with that, let's just get to it. And also a bit of a side note, I'm shooting in OBS for the first time today, just so I can show you guys my screen. So if it looks like garbage, I am not to blame for that. I've checked it a little bit and yeah, the quality is not looking amazing, but hopefully with a little bit of behind the scenes magic, I might be able to make it look a little bit better. So if it's really horrible, I do sincerely apologize and I will erase OBS from my computer, although it is probably just my fault being a dumb bitch. Let's get to it. So starting off with my tier list here, I'm going to be changing some of the tier names because they're just a little bit boring. So for most likely to die, I'm obviously going to put F in the chat. These are things that I'm dead. Please pay your respects. There's nothing I could do here. Next is going to be I'm in danger. Yeah. I'm probably gonna die. I've accepted my fate. I'm in a lot of danger. This is fine. Fire everywhere. Next, a little bit of a different one is going to be I would never be here. This is for ones where I would literally never be in this situation. I don't leave the house much. I just would never ever be put in this situation. So I would survive. Then we're gonna have nice try. It maybe get me, it might get me, but probably not. It was a nice try of death. And finally, I'm going to have I am aware of my surroundings. I have major anxiety. I hate being outside. So when I'm outside, I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of everything that's going on. A lot of these characters in the Final Destination just don't look around them. You'll see in a little bit what I'm talking about, because there are a lot of deaths that fall into these where if they just had a little bit more like spatial or situational awareness, they wouldn't have died. So yeah, I've tried to put them in some sort of order because the list just came completely randomized, but I haven't done it very well. I've done it all off memory. I've kind of just dragged and dropped where I could, so some might be a little bit out of order. And obviously, massive spoiler warning, I'm going to be talking about all the deaths in these films, so if you haven't watched them, maybe give this video a miss and then come back once you have binge watched them all. Please, trust me, they're okay films. They're good-ish in places. You'll see more what I'm talking about later on as well, so one of these films I really don't like, and I'll make that very apparent. But let's just get to it. I'm excited. Starting off with the first Final Destination premonition, and that is of course Flight 180. Now for this one, I'm aware of my surroundings. I would not stay on a plane if someone was shouting that the plane was going to go down. I would be straight off there. Obviously, if there wasn't someone shouting about their premonition, I would be dead. It'd be an F in the chat. There's no way I'm going to survive a fucking plane crash. But in the context of Final Destination, where someone is shouting, I would be straight off that plane, no questions asked. So the list is in a little bit of a messed up order, but I'm going to start with the first death in Final Destination 1, which is of course Todd. Death comes for Todd while he's in his bathroom, slipping on some water on the floor and ending up with his washing line wrapping around his neck as he suffocates in the bath. This is probably the only death in like the whole Final Destination franchise that actually freaks me out. I really struggle to watch it. It's something about like the life draining from his eyes while he like is being choked out in the bath that really freaks me out. However, I'm only going to put this in nice try because while I think I probably could die here, I know the shampoo bottle's all in the bottom, so it's really difficult for his feet to get up. Bro, just put one leg over the side of the bath and then you can grab the floor. I just never really understood why he's like kicking his feet at the bottom of the bath so much. Just do anything but what you're doing right now. I'm sure when you're dying in a life and death situation, your brain's probably not working properly. But I don't care. I feel like maybe I'd dive. I feel like I'd probably be able to get out of it. You can completely disagree with any of these opinions. They're all going to be like this. Like, you might be like, Seffi, that's never going to happen. You're going to die. Fight me. It's my list. You make a list if you want to die to all of these deaths. I've rearranged the list a little bit more. Sorry, I keep realizing I've missed people. Something wasn't added up. I knew I'd missed someone. So going on to Terry, who is, of course, hit by a bus. Stupid. I'm aware of my surroundings. Look before you cross the road. We learn that when we're children. So yeah, easily would have missed this one. I'm hyper aware of my surroundings. So no, I wouldn't have walked out into traffic like that. Really, really dumb bitch move. I'm going to probably get the order wrong with some of these now because my memory of the first film isn't great. I haven't watched it in a while. I did a really big rewatch of 2 to 5 like a couple of months ago, and I missed one because I'm saving it for a special occasion. So I can't remember exactly who dies next, but I'm going to go with Valerie, the teacher, who, I mean, her death is just brilliant. There's so much like tension built up, and the knives, the fire, everything. It's just brilliant. I'm going to say F in the chat. No, I'm going to say I'm in danger. I feel like there was just, death was like coming for her. Like there was no way she could have really avoided that. But getting stabbed by like your own knives, I don't know, Alex was trying to help throughout, but it's just, I feel like it could have somehow been avoided. I know she was obviously really freaked out thinking that Alex was doing the killings. But yeah, I feel like it could have been avoided. Billy Hitchcock getting decapitated by a piece of metal next to the train tracks. I would never be here. I would never, ever, 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 ever be near train tracks with a train crossing. That freaks me out so much. Absolutely no chance. Maybe I'm aware of my surroundings. Like, the train hit a car. Of course, there's going to be, like, stuff everywhere. So, yeah, I don't think that would get me. I would never, ever be in that situation. I understand it's a wild situation anyway. But no, I feel like that one could have been avoided. I definitely feel like there's somebody missing here, which I will obviously work out when I get to the end of the list, and I still have someone. So I guess Carter's the next, getting slammed with the sign in Paris. Aware of my surroundings. Loads of stuff led up to that. The sign didn't just like magically collapse. If you hear a massive creak, yeah, look out. Just be aware of your surroundings. Jump out of the way. I don't have the fastest reflexes, but I feel like if I'm surrounded by tall buildings and I suddenly start hearing a little bit of a commotion, I am leaving the area very, very quickly. And then Alex. Obviously, we don't see Alex's death. This happens sort of off screen, as we find out in Final Destination 2. I believe he's just hit by a brick, which it's such a lame death for the main character of Final Destination 1. And there's an even worse one coming up soon with Final Destination 2 characters. But I'm just going to say I'm in danger. I mean, if the brick just randomly flew off a building, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly the circumstances surrounding it, because it is just sort of passively like said or shown in Final Destination 2. But if something just falls off, kind of like in Hot Fuzz with the church, yeah, I don't think... It's not like a giant sign where you'd hear like the metal suddenly falling. A brick is just a brick. And how do you get taken out by just a brick? I'm sorry, this main character, Final Destination 1, killed by a brick. It's just so disappointing. And although I feel like I've missed someone, we're on to Final Destination 2, Route 23. This is a difficult one because obviously it's a massive car accident. There's so many different deaths involved. They're all sort of quite separate as well, contained to the cars that they're in. So I feel like that is a difficult one just to gauge because there's so many separate ones. But I'm going to say F in the chat. There's so many different deaths. You know, the poor motorbike guy getting crushed by his own motorbike. I would never be in that situation because I'd never be on a motorbike. The woman, the bottle of water getting stuck under the brake, that terrifies me to this day. I never have like loose bottles in the front of the car because I'm so scared of that happening. But there's so much going on that, you don't have reflexes quick enough to sort of avoid logs flying out from the back of a vehicle. Although, again, I've never been in that situation. If we're behind a log truck or even just a truck that looks a little dodgy, we always overtake because it's just horrifying. Final Destination sort of instilled trauma into like a whole generation of drivers. It's so scary. So yeah, I'm gonna say F in the chat for that one. I don't think I'd be able to survive a massive pile up like that. And now on to normal deaths from Final Destination 2. Not one of my favourite films, I will say. I'll do a full ranking at the end very quickly. But yeah, definitely not one of my favourite 3. Well, I guess it still has to be in my top 3. But yeah, some of the deaths and the ending in this, not great. I'll get into that in a minute. We'll start off with Evan, who is obviously... So his apartment catches fire, there's so many things going on. He gets his hands stuck down the American drain thing, garbage disposal. I have no idea what they're called. We don't have them in the UK. He gets his hands stuck in the sink, and then as he's going down the fire escape, he falls on the spaghetti that he threw out the window, and then the bloody steps fall down and they freak him out, and then they actually go and impale him. I am aware of my surroundings. You threw the spaghetti on the ground. Look where you're walking when you like stand up. 2, oh my god, if something's like this close to my face and could easily drop down, I would roll out the way straight away. I wouldn't lay there like, haha, I'm so lucky, I won the lottery. Move, dude, just move. It's literally that easy. Just move. Could have saved his own life so easily and lived a good life with all his lottery winnings, but no, he just lays there and sort of takes death. So yeah, fuck that. Definitely not a fighter. Sort of deserved death just for laying there and taking it. Next, Tim Carpenter, who obviously his scene builds up at the dentist. He gets a big fish stuck in his mouth and can't breathe. Silly, goofy. And then that's not even how he dies. He runs outside, sees the pigeons, and a giant glass pane drops on his head. Silly. I am aware of my surroundings. There's no way that I would ever run under construction vehicles. Like, don't do that. Obviously, some of these people just need to go back to basic health and safety training. Like, just don't do that. I know he's a kid, he's like young. Another little random fact is that they wanted to have Tim as like a lot of younger actors, so it was actually sort of more childlike, but they went against that obviously because they flatten him. I've seen the very slow motion behind the scenes footage of how they made Final Destination 2. Very interesting. Go watch it if you can. And they literally just flatten the dummy, split it in 2, and it explodes everywhere. So yeah, doing that with not an actual child, doing that with like a child death would maybe not be amazing. I think that's something that's still a little bit of a step too far for most horror franchises. They don't really want to kill off children. So I understand why they went with an older actor. That was a little bit of a tangent there. I'll probably go on a lot of those very soon. Then on to Nora, Tim's mum. Obviously she gets her hair caught and then decapitated by an elevator. I'm going to go nice try. I feel like that could be, I'm aware of my surroundings, but she's just lost her son. If I'm in that situation, just lost my son, panicked, man with hook hands. Yeah, I'd be freaked out. You're probably not thinking straight. Obviously, it's silly to completely freak out in the elevator just because the man with hook hands is there, and then fall over and then get decapitated. Like, brutal. But also... yeah, just be a bit more aware of your surroundings. Try and keep cool. But yeah, I think that's one where the situation is a little bit different. She's obviously incredibly like traumatized after watching her son die. So I can understand. I think I'd probably die if that was me. But also thinking rationally, I'd probably get out of it. Just like chill. Onto Kat, who is in a crash and a pole goes through the back of her seat. And then when the fire ambulance people, the firemen, open it up, airbag goes off, boom, impaled, which is just a beautiful shot. Really, really good death. Yeah, it's hard to know in this situation because, one, you'd be freaked out, obviously. Even though she's just sort of sat having like a cig, like enjoying life. A little bit freaked out. But, oh, I don't know. It's just so situational. It's hard to gauge. I feel like I'm in danger. Oh, actually, no. Nice try. I feel like if you're just a little bit aware of your surroundings, put your head to the side. Maybe avoid the giant thing stuck in the back of your seat and just be a little bit aware of your surroundings. But also, I feel like the fireman probably should have thought of that as well. Obviously, the airbag's going to go off. It hadn't gone off already when the crash happened. So, of course, that's something to think about. I don't know. It's a bit of a dumb one, really. Like, so much could have been done to stop that. But I have a pretty good chance of getting out of it. And sadly, Rory dies by getting sliced into two or three. Sliced into three parts, I think. I know, sliced into two. It's just across the torso, isn't it? By a fence after an explosion. Yeah, F in the chat. Yeah. There's no way you have a quick enough reflex to stop or move out of the way when something is like fired off that quickly. Yeah, I'm dead. That's it. I'm dead. I get sliced up, and God, I hope someone clears my fucking hard drive as well so my mum doesn't see it before I die. Now, Eugene. I genuinely cannot remember how this man dies. He's burned. He's in the hospital, but I can't remember why he's in the hospital. I assume something to do with everything that sort of happened when Kat and Rory died. So, oh no, he's not. Is he already in the hospital from the crash? I can't remember. But either way, he's in the hospital. A whole bunch of spooky stuff goes on, and there's a giant explosion, which sadly kills Eugene. F in the chat is in a hospital bed. How do you survive that? There's just nothing that you could do. And also Clear or Claire. I know it's spelled clear, but it just feels wrong. She dies sadly after coming back in film 2, and she survived Death's plan all along, and then dies in sort of a really lame way in Final Destination 2. Cool bringing back a character. I know like Alex got killed off screen, so they brought Claire back. But yeah, it's just lame that she just dies in an explosion like that. There was no, it didn't feel like part of Death's plan. There wasn't no like leading up to it, or it was just a bit rubbish really. But yeah, not surviving that giant explosion. Where am I meant to go? It happens so quickly that you just have like no idea. You'd literally just be dead really quickly, which is a pretty good way to go. If I die, I want to die quickly. I don't want it to be like horrible and long like Todd's was. Oh, so traumatizing. So yeah, not the worst way to go. And then Brian, who is sort of like a very, very side character, who helped Rory, stopped him getting hit by a car, and he like helps the guys when they have that big crash. And then everything feels good to the end of the film. Everything's so good. This is the goofiest. This is one of the reasons I'm not a massive fan of this film. He is at a family barbecue. He's attending the barbecue. Boom, barbecue explodes. Arm or leg falls right in front of his mom. Just silly. It's just a little bit silly. I know I'm a popcorn horror girly, and I love silly, goofy mood. But yeah, it's just so like random. Also, I would never be here. I'm terrified of barbecues. I'm scared of fire in general. But barbecues, the thought of like a big propane or whatever gas they use exploding freaks me out. So I actually just do not like tending barbecues. So yeah, I would actually never be in that situation. A silly one, I know. It's not even a social anxiety thing. That's just like a fire freaks me out thing, which I think is normal. That's not too weird. But yeah, I've never been in that situation. It's just silly. It's just silly. And also Kimberly and Thomas. So this is the final two. They survive. They get to the end of the film, which is stupid. For the first thing first. This is stupid. No one should survive at the end of a Final Destination film. It's Final Destination. Death's list. You know, no matter how many things you try and do to undo it, death's coming for you. I know this is ironic in a video where I'm saying I'd survive death, but at the end of the day, death's coming for you. It's going to get you. And then these two sort of survive at the end of the film. And I only found out after enjoying these films for years, I only found out very, very recently that Kimberly and Thomas actually do die off screen, and it's sort of only shown in like a DVD special feature or something like that. Or so it's not even shown, it's only mentioned in like a newspaper article. It's just very silly. Killing main characters off screen. I know we all want a happy ending and that, but it's Final Destination, that's not what we're here for. So yeah, they're killed in a wood chipper accident. I don't know anything about this. I also know I wouldn't be anywhere near a wood chipper. I've seen too many horror films with wood chippers, but you don't know the situation properly, so, or I don't. So I'm just going to say I'm in danger. I'd probably die. If there's a certain situation where I need to be near a wood chipper, yeah, I'd probably die. Like, how are you going to avoid that if you get sucked in? But I'd also not be there. I'd not be in that situation. And now onto my favourite Final Destination film, Final Destination 3. I love this film, although I will say I don't hate, that's such a strong word. I dislike the opening premonition. Obviously it's terrified me about roller coasters for life, but yeah, it's just not great. The brilliant thing about Final Destination premonitions, it's kind of similar to the airplane really, but the great thing about two's first premonition, the car crash, which is good, was everyone died in different ways. There was sort of different things leading up to it, and obviously people technically die in different ways during the roller coaster, but it's all over so quick and it's a bit blurry. You don't get to see much because obviously there's so much action. That yeah, I just don't think it's amazing. I have seen behind the scene footage as well, sorry to go on a tangent, about how they filmed it, and it was supposedly really, really difficult for the cast to film. Like they actually had to be like hung upside down and stuff. So yeah, it just adds to my dislike of it, I guess. It's just not, just really, really not my favourite one. However, F in the chat, what am I gonna do? I love roller coasters. That's one thing I'm not scared of. I love going on roller coasters. If someone was freaking out and saying get off, I'd be straight off. However, obviously the front cart in Final Destination 3 aren't allowed off. So that's a situation that I can't even control. On a plane, you can kick up a fuss, you can get the hell out of there. But no, on a roller coaster, if you're locked in and they're not letting you off, they're going to send you. It's just a roller coaster. So yeah, I'm going to say F in the chat for that one. It'd be difficult to survive that sort of roller coaster crash. Continuing on, I believe the first death is Ashley and Ashlyn. Whew. I would never be here. Do I look like I go to a tanning booth? Like, come on, does that look like me? However, I will say this is such a brilliant death. The juxtaposition between the overhead shot of the two tanning beds while the girls are being pretty much burnt alive, the smashing of the glass beneath them, their feet kicking the fire, and then it just cuts to the two coffins. Oh my god, chef's kiss. That is cinema. That is like so fucking funny. It makes me crack up every single time I see that. It's just genius. Really, really funny. However, I would never be here. I've never used a tanning bed. Never want to. Bad for your health. Also, I'm a goth, so I like being pale. So yeah, not somewhere that I'd ever be, but really, really good death, and just good, like, with the music on as well, and like them screaming. It's just such a good cinematography. Also, like, the people were actually on fire. I know I keep talking about the behind the scenes, but I've never really watched much behind the scenes footage before, and I got the full Final Destination collection on Blu-ray, so I decided, okay, yeah, I'm gonna like watch some of this behind the scenes stuff. And the way that films are shot are just insane. Like, a woman actually being on fire in the tanning bed, and they shoot like her feet kicking, and that woman is actually on fire with like protective gel, and it's just amazing. If you can watch just any behind the scenes stuff of like any films, especially horror, because obviously they make a lot of body doubles and like a lot of blood and gore. It's just really, really interesting stuff for a little film nerd like me. I'm probably not going to get the full order of this one right. I think I can get pretty close. Things are very out of order here. Obviously, these guys should be way over here. But I believe Frankie's next, and he is in the car at drive-through, and a truck crashes into the back of it. The truck engine goes flying, and yeah, his brains are everywhere. I mean, I am aware of my surroundings, but there's not much you can do, really. Obviously, our two main characters, Kevin and Wendy, obviously realize that the truck's coming down and won't be able to brake. But Frankie is like a car between that, a car in front. So like he probably didn't even like clock it. So I'll say I'm in danger. I feel like, yeah, that probably would kill me, but with a little bit of situational awareness, I'd be able to just look in my. Then again, he's getting food. So, yeah, my mind's kind of distracted when I'm getting food. I'm probably going to say F in the chat. I'm just thinking about my chicken nuggets. I'm not even like, I don't even drive for a start. I don't know why I keep acting like I'm the driver in these situations. I can't drive. So I'll be sat in like the little passenger seat waiting for my chicken nuggets. Turn around, I'm dead. That's it. I'm dead. There's no, I'm just dead. Like there wasn't really avoiding that unless he just drove. Oh no, he could have just drove forwards like a little bit. I'm gonna go. I'm in danger. I feel like you could avoid that realistically. But also it probably happens so fast that it'd be really, really difficult. So yeah, I'm in danger. This is where I get a little. I think it's this guy Lewis who dies next. He's in the gym being a macho man, pulls the weights, boom, head smashed. I would never be here. Do I look like I go to the gym? That's all I got, baby. Just fat. Just noodle arms. Yeah, I'd never be in the gym. That's all I need to say, really. I'd never be in that situation. And even if I did go to the gym, I'd be doing a little girly thing. Like I'd be on the treadmill or doing my little weights. I'm not gonna be like, whew. So yeah, never been in that situation. So my laziness has just saved my life. Thank you very much. I'll be telling my doctor about that. On to Erin. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna say F in the chat. She is in a building. What's the name? Like a B&Q. Hardware store, there we go. No one's gonna know what a B&Q is. She's in a hardware store and big stuff starts happening around. Everyone's thrown off a little bit. Pallets falling everywhere. And she falls back. Boom. Nail gun. Right through the face. But thinking about it, like, is that even possible? How would the nail gun fire? Surely, like, a nail gun... I'm gonna say nice try. Surely a nail gun like has to have some sort of safety on it, like a real gun. Surely, I've never used a nail gun, obviously. But surely it wouldn't just fire off the way that it does. So I'm gonna say a nice try, and I'm ready to be corrected in the comments. That's one where you can be like, Sephi, nail guns go off by themselves all the time. I'm not gonna believe you, per se, but. Maybe that does happen. Maybe it does, but I don't think so. Nice try. I hit my head against the nail gun. Ouch. My head's bleeding a little bit, but no nails go through my face. I'm just willing to believe that. It could be complete bullshit, but yeah. I'm talked myself into that one. And then this is where it gets a little bit chaotic. They go to the fair, fireworks, horses, and you think people are going to die and they don't die. Yeah, I can't remember who dies first, Perry or Ian. And I just like to say I have a massive crush on Ian. And I had a massive crush on poor Nailhead, Erin. Yeah, they're probably... And I also have a crush on Wendy, of course. But I'll stop there. I just love them. We'll go on to Perry. She's sort of impaled by something. A sign. The thing that the horse was pulling. Oh, nice try. I feel like I'd be aware of that. Obviously, things are getting like really chaotic. I'd be straight out of there. Sorry, friend who's just been pulled around by a horse. You know, I'm out of there. Also, it's just so chaotic. Like, leave. Just leave. Like, look around. Obviously, the horse is still going absolutely mad. It's all just a little bit too much. And Ian getting crushed by the sign, it was kind of deserved. But also I'm aware of my surroundings. Just sort of like Carter's death. Look around. so much stuff's like been going off with the fireworks. Like you can sort of assume that things are broken and you need to get the hell out of there. So yeah, just look around. As much as I love Ian, my little goth king, just look around. And then on to one of the best endings. Probably one of the reasons Final Destination 3 is one of my favorites. The train crash at the end. I love how they have the train crash and then they have how each character dies. Yeah, they're all F. How the hell am I gonna survive like a subway crash, the subway? I'm dead, or just a train in general. I'm dead. A train coming off the track, I am dead. There's no chance, sadly, to even get off. She has the premonition, Wendy, and she can't get off. The premonition ends too late, starts too early, whatever, and she's missed her chance to get off, so they all die. It's just such a beautiful ending. Honestly, so good. But it's what Final Destination 2 should have gone. And continuing that, they do all get killed off in the end, some in better ways than others. But yeah, it's just a perfect end to the story. And I do always see like a lot of Final Destination fans being like, oh, but we didn't actually see Wendy die. Oh, maybe she should come back. A train was coming at her head. There's no way she survived that. I'm sorry. I know we'd all like to see Mary Elizabeth Winstead back, but she's dead. There's no way they'd be able to like bring her back. I'm sorry. As much as I'd love her to come back, there's no way that's gonna happen. Like, she died. That's it. She might have died off screen, but she died. On to Final Destination 4. I don't like this one. This is my least favourite Final Destination movie. Oh, did you hear my leg crack then? I'm an old lady. Least favourite one, Mackenzie Speedway. I would never be here. Giant car crash at a speedway. People go to those for fun, I guess. Car racing, car go fast. Not my thing in the slightest. Yeah, I'm just not into that. So it's not really something that I have to worry about, thankfully. So yeah. I'd literally just never be there. This is where things are going to get a little bit out of order because there are a lot of characters in this film. I'm pretty sure she's in there. There seem to be a lot of characters in the last two films that I kind of can't place a little bit. So I'm going to try my absolute best. Nadia, I believe she dies straight away after the premonition. She just dies getting hit by the tire that bounces out. Sorry, but F in the chat, that is just so crazy. She left the arena, she's gone, she left, and this tire just magically bounces over the whole height of the arena and then just smashes down on it outside. That is just so ridiculous. And I know my biggest hate of this film is the fact that they obviously just shot it so much for 3D. Like, oh my god, all the 3D fake blood. Sorry, an ambulance is going past. I need to chill out. All the fake blood just spurting out of people. All the stupid stuff that comes smashing down. Ugh, I hate it. So yeah, sorry, Nadia. I sort of took that out on your character, but it's not her fault. She just died in a stupid way. But also, she should have been safe. Like, she left the danger area. She's out of the danger zone. So I feel like I would feel pretty safe being outside away from the crash. So dying there is actually pretty brutal. I just moved myself so you guys can still see the list. Yeah, I'm going to be very, very bad with even trying to get the order of this one. I genuinely just do not know. I guess maybe Andy next. Is he the horrible racist guy? Burnt. I would never be here. I would never, ever be doing what this man is doing. It is horrific. I assume that's him. I always thought he looked a little bit different, but no one else fits that description, so I'm going to assume it is him. Yeah, I'd never be here. The guy is a racist, who obviously just lost his partner. That's sad, but is a racist. So, good riddance. On to the next. Yeah, I've got no idea. Oh no. Carter. Uh-oh, I think I may have missed someone. I did not miss anyone. I sadly got Andy mixed up with Carter. Sorry, Andy, for calling you a big racist. That was not your fault. Sorry. Carter, I thought he didn't look like him. Yeah, Carter's the big racist and is been alive. What a shame. It just feels like there's way too many people. Like, all these people here are from this film. That doesn't seem right to me, but I'll keep going. Andy, stupid 3D death. A lot of these are just stupid 3D deaths, and I will call them out. Andy is sort of crushed. Andy is pushed through a fence, a metal fence, which is the stupidest metal fence in the world ever. It's just like big crosses, but really thick, and is sliced open, and his body is cut into perfect diamond triangle, trying to get diamond and triangle together, diamond pieces, and just flops out, and of course a piece flops out and you can see through him and see the people behind him. Done. But would I die? Again, explosions like this are they're sort of in the danger zone. Like, I can't really know whether I would avoid them. It's just, but I also would never be working in a car shop like he is. So yeah, if there's like a giant explosion in like Taco Bell, yeah, I'd probably die. But as this is an explosion in the mechanical shop, I would not ever be there. But I'll put I'm in danger. These are very out of order. Samantha Lane, she is the mum who puts tampons in her kids' ears. This is like, oh my god, I hate this film. This is so stupid. She's getting her hair done, all this tension happens, you know, the chair drops and the light falls off, and oh my god, a can pops, and it's just like, oh my god, so much tension. And then she finishes getting her hair done and she leaves, and she like turns around to her two children and she's like, I got my eye on you two, and then turns around, and then a lawnmower outside hits a rock, and of course hits her right in the eye and kills her. Oh, that's so stupid! That's so stupid. Of course they use 3D. Literally so stupid. However, would I be able to survive this? It's just so randomized. Would that even happen? Lawnmower experts, please, in the comments. Would that happen? Could a lawnmower fire a piece of rock, I think it was a rock or something, through a human person? I'm sort of thinking it could. I'm in danger. I feel like that could happen, maybe. I have no evidence to back it up other than Final Destination 4, which should never be cited or used in any factual setting ever. But I don't know, man. I feel like it could happen. I feel like I'm a bit more... But even being aware of your surroundings, you can't predict like a piece of rock just being fired by something. Sort of like when you're driving down the street and a piece of rock flicks up under another car in front. Like, that is terrifying. That's so scary. You didn't know that was going to happen and you couldn't have avoided it. So I feel like I'm in danger, but also it'd be F in the chat if I knew that it could physically happen. But I'm a little unsure about how factual that is, if that could actually happen or not. So I'm going to keep it in I'm in danger. I'm starting to believe I've actually got these in like an alright order so far. So moving on to Hunt, who I believe is killed first, maybe. And this is also like, this film is just so stupid. So he's in the swimming pool, goofing around, hitting on hot babes. There's boobs for some reason, I'm pretty sure. Because they just love that in horror in the 2010s. Like, yeah, let's get some more people to our film, we'll show some boobs. Although it was tasteful in Final Destination 3. I'm saying that now, it was tasteful. And then he's in the pool and something's wrong with the pump and he gets sucked in and dies horribly. And of course his friggin' guts like come out really high in the pump in a 3D effect. I'm aware of my surroundings, I think. No, nice try. Again, I don't think this could happen. But if it did happen, I feel like I would never be here. I would never be putting my ass near the suction thing of a swimming pool. That's just not. No, don't do that. That's something children learn. You know not to do that. Anything where it's sucking, I don't want to be near that because you never know if something could go wrong. Maybe it could happen. Maybe you could get sucked in. But I don't want to try. So yeah, I'd never be in that situation. Ever. And then Jonathan, who is in hospital underneath another patient, and the patient fills their bath and the nurse or doctor forgets about him and the bath overflows, boom, crushes Jonathan. F in the chat, how am I meant to survive that? I'm in hospital, I can't move and burn. I think it was burn. I'm pretty sure it was burn. And something crushes me. There's no way, I'm not rolling off. I don't even know it's really happening. A few little water droplets come down. How am I meant to know that's... Well, obviously you know that's leaking. But surely if we're in a hospital, the hospital staff have that under control. Like, I'm fine. The hospital's here to help me. So yeah, I'd die. And I'd been on the wiser. And it happened pretty quickly, I think, hopefully. So yeah, F in the chat, I'm dead. R.I.P. Onto George. I'm aware of my surroundings. So after they've just got back from the hospital trying to visit Jonathan to, I assume, save his life, but they fail. They're outside the hospital and boom! George gets hit by an ambulance of all things. They're in the road. I know it's a hospital, but they were in the road. So yeah, look how where you're going. Be aware of your surroundings. This is just like Terry from Final Destination 1 all over again. Don't step out in the road. Check again, then go. Better yet, just cross on a crossing. But always double check. People run red lights all the time. So yeah, be aware of your surroundings, dude. And this is where it gets a little bit muddled. Because we have Janet twice. And we have Laurie twice, actually. And we also have Target Theatres. And this is another premonition. This is the only film where they have like a full blown out premonition twice. And this is where stuff explodes in the theatre and loads of horrible stuff happens. I don't know. It's just such a weird one. I'm really, really not a fan of this film. Probably I'm in danger just for the overall vibe of the theatre. I'll go more into each death. Janet is just in the cinema and the screen explodes and she dies. F in the chat. Any explosion that happens so quickly, there's just no way that you could survive that. I'm sorry. She's just in a cinema. I would die. I love the cinema and it's loud and you're not going to hear like the fire crackling. You just die. I'm putting my foot down with that one. Laurie, I assume this is the escalator one. After poor Janet dies in the premonition, this is all a dream. After she dies, Laurie is then trying to escape and the elevator gobbles her up. Absolutely gobbles her up. I would never be here. In an emergency, I am taking the stairs. I ain't running down the electric escalator. That's not happening. Stuff's exploding everywhere. Fire, panic. I'm jumping over the ledge. I'm not even taking the stairs. I am tuck and rolling. I am just straight down there. Will not go down the escalator. It's just a horrible death. It's made me scared of escalators. Like, she gets gobbled up. And of course her guts come round. Boom. Hitting our poor boy Nick in the face. Just brutal. But it was all a dream. None of it happened. It was literally all a dream. Stupid. And then we get to the end of the film. Our characters have survived. Woo! And they're all sat in a cafe, chilling. But our boy Nick starts to see some stuff. Reminded of the races, the mall, all that sort of jazz. And boom! Hit by a car or a big truck. Boom, boom, boom! All of them taken out. We don't even see their deaths. Is put into some weird, like... she's just an outline with a skeleton crushed. Where are my surroundings? Where are my surroundings? Yep. If I'm sat in a cafe and I'm right next to the glass, which I would never do. That freaks me out. I've seen too many like cars stuck in the front of buildings and houses. That'd freak me out. If I'm just looking around, sat enjoying my coffee, oh, busy on the roads today, isn't it? Oh, that van looks a bit funny. Maybe we should get out of the way. Done. Also, why are there not like it's a street? Why are there not bollards in front of the cafe to stop any cars? Like, has this never happened before? I don't know if that's just like a British thing, but we have that quite a bit. You know, you have, if it's a road going straight, there's a cafe at the end, you have a few little bollards there to stop people in the cafe getting crushed and killed. So yeah, stupid film. Bottom of my list. Least favorite Final Destination film. Too much 3D. So many characters. Like, that was a crazy amount of character deaths compared to like one. So yeah, not my favorite, obviously. But now we're on to Final Destination 5. And I like it. I actually like it. I actually do like Final Destination 5. North Bridge Bay. F in the chat. There's way too much going on there to even start. People are getting hit by falling cars. The oil burned all over him. Horrific. Sliced in half. Just falling and smashing on the concrete. Just a lot of deaths, and I'm accepting my fate. I'm accepting my fate with that one. That was way too chaotic, and a brilliant opening to a film. You know, so many different sorts of death. They're all like quite different, despite them all being in this one place. The guy getting hit by just the big piece of metal wiring coming down. Brilliant. Really good open to a film. And then we gotta try and remember which order all these deaths go in. I believe Candace is the first to die there, and I would never be here. She's a gymnast on some sort of beam. I know nothing about gymnastics. And the fan breaks and like stuff's blown everywhere. And she steps on a pin and boom, dead. Her body crumples. I've never been in that situation. Ever. I think most people wouldn't, so it's a pretty easy death to get out of for most people. Yeah, I would never be in that situation. It's brutal though. It's really good death. Like the way her body just sort of folds all over itself. Horrifying, but entertaining. Very entertaining. I genuinely can't remember who dies next. I obviously know sort of who dies last. Oh, I actually can't remember how Dennis dies, so that's not a good start. We'll go with Isaac next. He's in a massage parlor having acupuncture, and the place sets on fire and he falls over and he's crushed by a giant Buddha statue. I'm gonna go I'm in danger. I'd never be in a massage parlor or get acupuncture, but I feel like if I was just in a normal place and I fall over and there's a giant no, it's going to never. I would never be here in this situation. I would never be getting acupuncture. And if there was a fire, straight out the door. I'm gone like the wind. I'm jumping out the window, even though there's no windows in that room. I'm screaming for help. I'm getting the hell out of there. The guy's kind of like a sleazeball, so it wasn't actually that bad that he died. But yeah, it was. It was a good death. On to Olivia. She just has such MILF energy. She falls out of a building after slipping on the eye of a bear, which sounds weird if you haven't watched the film, but you shouldn't be this far in if you haven't watched the film. I'm going to say I'm in danger. Obviously, she's there for like laser eye surgery, which is a situation that I'd never been in. She gets all burnt and is flustered, but her death, she literally just slips on something and falls out the window. Which I think could happen to anyone. Obviously, she's in heels, and it's a bit weird. And it's like a eye of a bear, so it might have a bit of a curve. But yeah, I feel like if death was coming for me, I could fall over my own feet and fall out the window. I'm a close. I don't even need like the bear eye to be there. I don't need to have been lasered. Just get him to to get me to stand on like my own pajama bottoms, and I'm straight out that window. So yeah, I'm very, very, very much in danger with this one. I genuinely do not remember who comes next. I also don't know who Dennis is. Dennis, who are you? Impaled through the face by a wrench? I have no recollection of this. Give me one moment. Okay, I watched and he really does just get impaled by a wrench. It happens so quickly. But first of all, I would never be in like a construction site, factory like that. So really, I would never be here. Tools, not my thing. Not my thing. But it happens so fast that I can understand why he does die. You know, they're like, oh my god, who's gonna die next? And then it's like, Dennis, and then Dennis is just like, boop, impaled. So yeah, I understand why he dies, but I personally would never be in that situation. If you work in construction or in a factory, be aware of your surroundings. Health and safety, look around. Roy, he's sort of like murdered, like straight up murdered. No, it's not really. He's like he's almost a little bit murdered by Nathan, obviously. I mean, death classes it as murder, so yeah, he's murdered. Gets what thing through his thing. What? That's something that freaks me out. Anything with the jaw really freaks me out. But again, it's in like a factory, so I'd never be here. I'd never be in this situation, thankfully. Nathan actually dies. Oh, well, technically Nathan does die last. Peter, oh my god, Peter is impaled through spine with meat spit. Peter's murdered. Peter is actually like murdered, but it is in self-defense, so it's kind of oh, I would never be here. No, Peter, I would never be here. He's literally murdered in sort of self-defense because he's trying to kill other people in the list. Or kill Molly, who's not even on the list technically. Yeah, I'd never do that. I understand we're all freaked out, but just be aware of your surroundings and don't be an asshole, Peter. I did love, like, Final Destination 5 obviously isn't my favourite Final Destination film, but it just feels so different to Final Destination 4, the Final Destination, because that was a bit of a shit show. But this one feels like good. They've introduced like a couple of new like ideas, like killing someone will give you their life, and death will skip you, which is cool. That's like really interesting. I'm glad they did bring that into this film. But Peter does totally go about it the wrong way and tries to kill like his best friend's like girl, which you could go kill a bad person. You don't have to kill the first person that you want. You shouldn't really be killing anyone. Like, just accept fate. But if you had to, go kill a bad person. Like, it's that easy. Molly did nothing wrong. And then, onto the end of this film. Brilliant. Sam and Molly, they've cheated death. They've done it. They've won. You know, Sam had to kill Peter, so he's taken Peter's place. He's off the list. So they're like, we might as well go for a little holiday. How does Paris sound? Get on the plane, and all of a sudden, there's this commotion on the plane. A kid shouting about having a premonition and the plane going down. Oh my god, they're on flight 180. What a plot twist. Like, just when I thought Final Destination couldn't do anything new for me, they just pull out this insane plot twist and boom, Final Destination has been a prequel all along. Amazing. Honestly, so good. Like, you just do not catch it at all, because they keep it all really, really subtle. You know, only a few things have the dates on, because it's like the 2000s versus 2010s when it was filmed. You know, most things look the same. They just a really, really, really good job. And Sam and Molly, they're on flight 180. However, they're on flight 180 when Alex is obviously kicking off. I'm aware of my surroundings. Alex is kicking off. Premonition, plane's going down. I'm out of there. Sam and Molly literally have experienced the whole film, have lived because of Sam's premonition, and then they see another guy having a premonition, and they're like, whatever. let's go. Let's go to Paris. It's totally going to be fine. And yeah, boom, they die. They should have, like, as soon as they saw like a kerfuffle on the plane, kerfuffle, who am I? They should have been straight out of there. So yeah, I'm aware of my surroundings. I would have been out of there. And the last person left alive is Nathan. And Nathan was off death's list. You know, he killed Roy. He got Roy's life years left, however long that may be. But at Roy's wake, which Nathan is at, a little bit weird, because Nathan did kind of kill Roy, but whatever. Celebrating Roy's life, it is revealed that Roy had cancer, that was found in the autopsy and would have been killed any day now. And what do you know? A piece of Flight 180 takes its last victim and comes crashing down and kills Nathan. F in the chat. No way I could know that. You don't. It's sort of like the whole like Donnie Darko thing where, you know, if a friggin' piece of plane comes down and crashes through your house, how are you meant to survive that? There's just no way you could have even situational awareness. You're inside. You can't see up and see like something happening. So yeah, you just die. That's it. And that's my list. That's my list. Let me zoom out a little bit. That is my list. I don't know how bullshit a lot of this is. How absolutely terrible all of this is. Like, yeah, I survived Flight 180. Yeah. But thankfully it was just for a little bit of fun. It wasn't meant to be serious. So yeah, that's my list. So yeah, I really, really hope you all enjoyed a silly, goofy little video where I get to explore one of my favourite film franchises ever. As for the ranking, oof, Final Destination 4, The Final Destination, dead last. And then I'd probably go into... See, it's difficult. Maybe Final Destination 2, just because I really, really don't like the ending. A lot of the deaths are brilliant. The opening seems amazing, but I really, really don't like the ending. Final Destination 5 would take the third place. Love the ending, love the opening credit. Some of the deaths in between are a little bit lame. Second place would be Final Destination 1. Yeah, great. It's just set, it's so like dark and eerie, but it's sort of like setting up the stage for like what's to come. The deaths are like all right. They're almost like a little bit more visceral, the deaths. They sort of hit a little bit closer to home with like the choking, stabbing, obviously the head being cut off by the piece of metal on the train tracks is a little bit goofier. But yeah, they feel kind of like down to earth, things that could maybe actually happen. Some of them, like obviously a plane crash could happen. And then yeah, it's enjoyable, but it's not my favorite, sadly. The top spot obviously goes to Final Destination 3. It's got boobs, it's got hot goths, it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead, it's got Ramona Flowers. Like, it's just brilliant. It's got a brilliant end scene where they all actually die, which I'm so glad they've continued on in the future. It's goofy, it's a little camp, the deaths are really, really good. It's just brilliant. It's my comfort film. That and Saw 2, both my comfort films. I'll probably do a similar video with Saw traps. That will be a lot more F in the chat because I faint at blood. So there's a lot of those that I probably... Maybe I won't do it, what I would survive. Maybe I'll actually just rank those. Because I feel like probably not going to be able to survive a lot of Saw traps if I faint at blood. But yeah, I really, really hope you enjoyed. And let me know if you want to see more silly, goofy ranking videos or just horror videos in general. Obviously, if you're a fan of my other work, you know that I love horror, I love video games, I love films in general. So yeah, I'm trying to branch out and do a little bit more YouTubey, safer work stuff where I get to talk about my passions and things that I'm really, really interested in. So yeah, it's super duper cool if you want to see that stuff, and it means an awful lot to me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, And don't forget to like and subscribe. That was a joke. Or was it? Thank you if you enjoyed my silly goofiness. And yeah, Sophie out. Why did I end it like that?